types of videos like today's are always interesting to make to me because thinking about the future, you're very clearly not going to have as much excitement for 3 years down the road as you would, say, a new seasonal reveal in a month or two, because one is tangible. You worry about the others as you get there, that type of situation. But for the last few years, the baseline of Call of Duty has become very publicized because with Warzone, with the inclusion of everything, it's created this necessity of this unifying experience. So you're going to have more reports of features, modes, and overall the broad strokes picture of what a year will look like as a whole. Not just speculation, but nearly full-on confirmation via leaks that, sure, won't be confirmed officially for a while, but today we're taking a look at the near future and distant future because it's all already in motion. So drop your thoughts as we go along. What do you hope to see in the future of COD and what may be on deck? Let me know, and make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more Black Ops 6 and other FPS coverage as well. I'd love to have you in the community. But anyways, let's get into the future roadmap for Call of Duty. I think one of the most important things to consider before jumping into the sort of yearly discussion on releases is a report on how decisions will be made at a top level seemingly from now until the foreseeable future. Leaker the Ghost of Hope has come out with a few reports, the first of which being around this top level, where he stated, "What I'm told about the future of Call of Duty is Microsoft has set up a new committee under Activision for Call of Duty that will control features and systems at a franchise level and let the studios make suggestions." So whether something like Omni Movement, which is a new feature, survives past this year will be decided not by Infinity Ward or Treyarch, but by this committee. Studios are being told not to innovate in areas like UI, prestige, certain gameplay features, etc., but rather to focus on innovating on maps, modes, storytelling, as that's where they want the creativity to come from. So this is also directly backed up by recent interviews with Treyarch, in which Miles Leslie, Associate Creative Director at Treyarch, mentioned that they think Omni Movement, or rather hinted that Omni Movement will continue to evolve after seeing its potential, where they stated it's been inspiring to see players pulling off so many incredible plays with Omni Movement every day, and we're sure we haven't seen the limits of its potential yet. So deviating too far from those fundamentals of what we have right now doesn't appear to be in the cards. So this is interesting to me on a few counts. Firstly, on a positive note, this in theory means that we won't have those sort of hard deviations that create the jarring "what is this" type of moment where some dumb things shine through like in recent years. Like where my mind goes to is the inability to buy a loadout in Warzone 2 or something like that. Obviously that's not pertaining to the main paid title, but dumb decisions that just made no sense and kind of like undercut what people enjoyed and expected out of the gameplay offering. That should nullify some of these cases and let the positives of gameplay elements shine through, but should. Theory is always cleaner and way prettier than reality, so whether or not that holds true, we'll have to wait and see. But on the other hand, there's also a bit more downside that's possible. Not saying that it will happen, but it is possible. My mind goes to dumbing down some of those features and removing things that people liked just for the sake of what the committee likes. Like while it's mentioned they won't innovate on prestige, it'd be like the possibility of them removing it all over again, going back and forth between a prestige and a seasonal system. That'd be dumb, and nobody really likes to see that either way, I feel. Also, we don't know who this committee is made of. There's plenty of people that I won't mention in the COD space that I'm pretty sure that you probably don't agree with some of their design decisions that would be in charge of every COD's gameplay design. Might not be great for a set of players. But more so than anything else, I think this has the potential to make every game feel the same, which has already kind of been a thing happening more and more since Modern Warfare 2019 and the inclusion of Warzone. I mean, Cold War is different. Sure, you felt that jumping between multiplayer and Warzone, but Vanguard was Modern Warfare 2019 modified. Modern Warfare 2 was its own thing. Modern Warfare 3 basically spent the whole year saying, how can we correct this and make it more like Modern Warfare 2019, that people love that pace and fluidity, while being its own thing. And then Black Ops 6 is a bit of that, but with more mechanics to differentiate. So 3 of the last 5 years have basically been callbacks to one game. But if every single game, year over year now, sees those same gameplay innovations taking the backseat and trying to make everything feel more uniform in line with features and systems, will it get boring, or will it be the same game year over year, even more so? Like, there of course has been the meme forever that Call of Duty is a copy and paste thing every year, but like, what happens if it literally is? So anyways, on to the juicier things. Let's talk about the calendar of releases. A reminder that these are unconfirmed reports, but from credible insiders that, while it is likely, can absolutely change in some capacity or another from now until their release timetables. COD 2025, it is reported to be a Black Ops 2 sequel, another Black Ops game, whether it's called Black Ops 7, we don't know, or whatever it may be, but we've already talked about this plenty, so I don't want to stick on this too long, but the basic gist of this is that it's going to be a modified Year 2 comparable almost to last year, but not quite. What I mean by that is a brand new story and campaign will be coming, hopefully better than Modern Warfare 3's, that will then continue the story in 2030 after the events of Black Ops 2. So a rather large time jump from the 90s and what we had in Black Ops 6, though admittedly, I really did enjoy the Black Ops 6 campaign and what was set up with that, so who knows if we'll see Adler and co. revisited in the next few years at all. I'd like to see those return. I feel like it's pretty cool that Adler has kind of become like this staple and this icon in the Call of Duty franchise, even though he's only been around since 2020. Whereas characters like Price, Gaz, Ghost, Soap, Woods, and Mason and them, they've all been there since the late 2000s, early 2010s. So like they've had so much more time to bake and become fan-loved favorites, whereas Adler just kind of came out of nowhere and is a huge fan favorite right now. So would love to revisit them, but we don't know if that will happen anytime soon. But the multiplayer is looking to be a combination of a lot of different classics. Pick 10 is rumored to be returning. Classic Prestige is going to be coming back again, apparently. Remasters of classic Black Ops maps with originals mixed in there, so it's not quite like Modern Warfare 3's launch situation. So there's a lot of stuff that we can look forward to with this that is both new and familiar, but the only sort of update to what we've talked about here in the past is that apparently Omni Movement appears to be getting updated to include wall running. So welcome back Black Ops 3 to a degree, but not for the extended periods of time like you'd see in Black Ops 3. Instead, it's kind of like a parkour 1-2 step on a wall type of deal that it's good for a quick mantling or a climbing purpose perhaps, but not nearly as prolonged as Black Ops 3, if that's what these rumors suggesting end up being true with. Then, COD 2026, the year after that, Hope has reported that what I'm hearing about Infinity Ward's next game, Infinity Ward is currently scheduled for late 2026. Infinity Ward will be utilizing Omni Movement and wall running, which is currently rumored to be a feature in COD 2025 as well in their game. Infinity Ward will also be remastering a majority of Modern Warfare 3 2011 maps for their game alongside new original maps. Now this is going to be Modern Warfare 4 as reported, with additional details that he said he's heard that the campaign may fully embrace the Black Ops 2 tech future with 2025 to spice things up and win people over again after people lost faith in the story with Modern Warfare 3 and to a degree Modern Warfare 2. The only thing that I've heard beyond that that's also been reported a while ago was that initially, a few months ago at least, the shift to Omni Movement was causing some trouble internally where, as we've seen in recent games, the Infinity Ward titles have been a lot slower in pacing. So I have my reservations and concerns with this in particular. A return to the Modern Warfare name will absolutely generate this hype, for sure. Even if the skeptics of the chronically online like me and you, even if we have our doubts in what can be delivered, it's the name that will bring that pull for sure. But having it embrace the future tech is going to be interesting because while it'll be apparently 2025, 2026, like actually modern day, that technology that we saw in Black Ops 2 probably still will not be there to the degree that it was in that game. So it'll be interesting to see if it is like actually that same type of thing. But beyond that sort of deviation in timetable and what the tech may bring to the table here at this, I've told my story time and time again, but for those that may be new, a lot of people were introduced here as of Black Ops 6's launch and want some context for my personal skepticism. Long story short, devs sat down with creators after a horrible launch of Caldera and Warzone with Vanguard. Basically, they were like, hey, we're gonna do all we can, but we're all hands on Warzone's sequel, Warzone 2. And again, at the time, I do think that from that point on, from Caldera Season 2 onwards, it was actually a very fun Warzone experience. They had a good time with it, they listened to the community and everything like that, and that was great. But in doing so, talking about the sequel to Warzone, Warzone 2, they by extension had to confirm Modern Warfare 2, and this was in February, when the game's official reveal wasn't for a few more months after that. So from that time in early February, studio heads at Infinity Ward were like, hey, we want all of your feedback. We want to improve off of what Modern Warfare 2019 delivered, make it a game for everyone, learn from our mistakes. We want your help in doing that. That is something that for months and months you had people giving feedback and ideas being pitched, and then by the time of COD Next reveal and that beta build, not a single bit of the vocal feedback was in that game. And I'm sure that if you go back and look at some of the perspectives, any of the VODs of people that ended up streaming that event, you could see that there was just like a what is this type of look in everybody's face whenever they were playing. So yes, while devs have every right to build their art and their game as they'd like, why put on that show and dance if you weren't going to ever consider player feedback in the first place? So for that alone, I've been sort of jaded with Infinity Ward titles, and I need to see gameplay or get hands-on to know if I'll be actually interested in this game and if it actually looks and feels good, or if I'll just be covering it to covering it, assuming that I'm still doing YouTube in 2026. But anyways, COD 2027 beyond that, as wild as it sounds to have any information out that far, Hope has also reported what I'm hearing about Sledgehammer Games' future with Call of Duty. Sledgehammer Games are currently slated to lead their own Call of Duty in 2027. This comes after Infinity Ward's game in 2026, which is presumably Modern Warfare 4. COD 2027 is currently not a Year 2 Modern Warfare game like Modern Warfare 3. Unclear as of yet if it's possibly Advanced Warfare 2 or something new. We'll update whenever that becomes clear. And since then, nothing has been updated in regards to what that will be setting-wise, but this, I think, is big because I've said it for years, man. Sledgehammer absolutely should get another stab at a full dev cycle. The last game they had uninterrupted was Advanced Warfare. Think about that. 2014 was the last game that they had all hands on deck and uninterrupted. Since then, they produced COD World War II, which was initially planned to be something futuristic until the intracycle deviation from advanced movement. Then they did Vanguard in 18 months' time after Treyarch came in and took over the joint project from Raven and Sledgehammer that later became Cold War. Then they made Modern Warfare 3 in 18 months right after releasing Vanguard. That's why we didn't get any real post-launch support for Vanguard after that, because they had to turn around an entire new game in 18 months. So if we're honest with ourselves here, there were a lot of cool features throughout those games, and a lot of great reception to community feedback, changes, additions, and all based on what players wanted, a willingness to create with the community rather than being like, this is what we made, deal with it. Even if some of the games weren't your favorite, and I'll tell you straight up, they weren't mine in some cases, those are objective truths. Sledgehammer has done so much to try and create a game for the community. So to have a game with a full dev cycle with a developer that has community in mind, I'm pretty excited about that. But that is the sort of timeline and timetable for COD upcoming in a nutshell. A lot of strangeness, a lot of stuff probably predictable, but a little bit of everything here, and the next few years are going to be interesting. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think of this timeline of launches and what we have on offer the next couple of years? Like it, dislike it, let me know your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 6 and other COD content. I'd love to have in the community. For now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.